G'day guys, King of Underworld here, your local Australian from down under. I'm sorry for the horrible puns and my own nationality, I hate myself already. But, yeah, I just want to say sorry for the recent, lack of uploads and the daily consistency. It's just, schoolwork was a bit, much, and coming up to the end of term, things have been due more. And, yeah, now I'm gonna be going into, after next week, I'll be going into, my break, so I might take a few days off, but if I do, when I go back and recording, I'll be producing a lot more and even maybe starting a few new what ifs. But anyway, I'm pretty sure this is not what you're here for, to hear a sad sub story as to why I've been a bad content creator. But anyway, let's get right into this. So to recap last episode, well, the students of Class 1A had just gone through the horrific event that was the USJ, and what they thought was the death of two of their classmates. However, thanks to Senku's genius and brilliant tactics, he managed to get everybody out unscathed and even buy enough time for the Nomu to be killed, and then force Shigaraki to leave. As then we cut to the class after 2 weeks finally coming back in, as Aizawa says, "Alright then, class. Well, after the events of the USJ, UA doesn't want to show any kind of weakness to ruling attacks. And I'm sure you guys don't want to be shown as weak, do you?" As everybody just starts basically just looking intently. It says, "Well, despite the most recent events, we are still going to be holding the UA Sports Festival. So I expect all of you to give it your all." So, the events are going to be taking place within a month from now. So, we're going to give you, that's about 4 weeks for you to train and get stronger. Now, I hope to see you guys striving to be the best you can be. After all, heroes can't get weak, they grow stronger every passing day. As Senku just looks over to Taiji and is like, "Come on, you big elf, you ready to win?" As Taiji goes, "Hell yeah, Senku!" There we go. As Aizawa tells Taiji to please be quiet. He says, "Oh, sorry, sir. I was a bit excited." Well, now that I know that everybody's excited, you better be doing your best. As Taiji asked Senku after class, "Hey, Senku, what are we doing? How are we gonna train?" "Well, that's the thing, big elf. If you're gonna become a hero, just like me, you can't exactly expect to become stronger with just me. Well, I know someone you could train with. Train with Sato. That big lunk is almost as strong as you. Maybe fighting him might give you the edge and even increase your durability and strength. Nothing like the Nomu, but if you can hit hard and you can dodge him, that's good enough training." "Ah, Senku, that's a good idea. Wait, but what about you? What are you gonna do?" "Oh, 10 billion% sure I'm gonna have something fun to do." As Taiji just asks, "Well, what are you doing? If I may ask, that is." "Sure, big elf. And I doubt you can understand it, though." As Senku just says, "Well, since I am technically part of both the hero course and the support course, I'm allowed to build my own machinery and use it in the festival. So I will be designing my own outfit, and gadgets to be using. As after the events of the USJ, I know there's something that can be improved and some things I need to figure out how to make better. Like, if that event ever happens again, I want to be able to make sure that I can die at least twice before I'm killed." As Taiji says, "That sentence makes no sense, but okay." "Of course it makes sense. Technically, I die, then I revive myself." Big Elf. I'm 10 billion% sure that would have gone over your head anyway. As Toad says, it sure did, but well, I believe in you, Senku. Sure, Big Elf. As the two part their ways for the day, and well, they eventually go into their own solitary training. As Senku is working away inside the support course lab, a very excited person sneaks up behind him and says, "So, what are you doing?" As Senku starts dropping all the things he had in his hand. Hatsume, what have I told you about sneaking up on me? Sorry, I couldn't help it. I just saw you fiddling away with some machinery. Are you making babies again? Again, Hatsume, phrasing. Oh, sorry. Again, just excited. No worries, no worries. But this is something to get excited over. Luckily, I didn't drop it. Ooh, what you got there? Well, this is something that's going to help me during... It's going to help me during the sports festival. Ooh. Well, certainly a cool-looking device. Tell me what it does? Ah, see, now that's where I have to stop you there. I can tell you roughly what it does, but not what the other one does. Wait, you've got two? That's what I'm holding in my hand. Wait, I thought that was a tool. No, it's something special. I managed to find out something pretty cool. It's gonna blow your mind. Now get excited. As Senku just has a big grin on his face, I'm 10 billion% sure no one's gonna expect this one. He's like, now that's the spirit. Says, thanks. Yeah. Well, you're very fun to hang out with, Hatsume. Oh, really? Am I? People just call me crazy. Ah, trust me. Craziness is what scientists are looking for. Usually the crazy ones come up with the most outlandish ideas that happen to be true. Tell me, did you think Edison ever think that he could invent a light bulb? No. He didn't think he could. He took someone else's idea and made it work. That's why crazy people, and especially crazy scientists, put out a theory, and others make it a reality. But Edison was an inventor. Yeah, well, scientist and inventor are one and the same. Scientists invent new concepts for reality, and inventors give us the materials and tools to be able to do so. So without one, you can't have the other. I suppose. Anyway, I better get back to making my gadgets, if you will. I gotta show everybody the power of science. Now, let's all get excited. As then, well, as the days start to turn into weeks, and the weeks turn into a month, as the day of the sports festival is at hand, as everybody's getting excited for the big events that are about to take place, as midnight says, "Alright, can the class representative for 1A please take the stands?" As it isn't Bakugo, however, but Senku, as he was chosen because of his outstanding performance academically and on his, well, entrance exam. So I just say whatever I want? Yeah, that's pretty much alright. Alright then. Hello everybody, my name is Senku Ishigami. I know I've got everybody's eyes on me, and it's quite scary if you put it that way. But there's one thing I must say. Everybody get excited, as the history of mankind culminates to this one point, this one day, where we show off our powers and just how powerful humanity can be. We have science and collaboration pulling us together. We found this power and we chose to use it. We use this power to become heroes. And our future generations are going to look at this day and say this is when the greatest heroes shine. Thank you for listening, and let's everybody all get excited and do our best. As everybody was silent for a minute, then the crowd started erupting into a very roaring thunder of clapping and cheering. As he walks back down with a confident grin and says, "Oh, well, they sure got excited." As well, as the rest of the class is going, "Wow, that was a great speech, Senku." It's like, as Tai just says, "Wow, you sure know how to whip up a crowd." So like I said, I'm 10 billion% sure I can turn anybody from a lazy worker into a very, very productive genius. Hell, I managed to do it with you, Taiju. I managed to turn that brutish strength of yours into your ultimate weapon and ultimate defense. As everybody's just astonished by, well, how rough he is on the surface, but now that they hear his words and hear the meaning behind them, they understand that clearly he is a far greater man than they imagined he was. As we cut to a man sitting high up above the earth, saying, "Now that's my boy. Doing me proud, I see." As well, as one of the crewmates said to him, "Come on. What have I told you, Ishigami? Stop getting off work." "Ah, sorry. I just have to be proud of my boy for once at least. Come on, cut me some slack." "Yeah, whatever you say, Byakuya." As Senku looks up to the sky and's like, "See it, old man? I'm 10 billion% sure I whipped up the crowd just the way you would." "Well, I can't wait to see what our events are gonna be. Ain't it, you big elf?" As Sai just slams his fists together. "Yeah, I can't wait to see they are, Senku. Who knows? You might be better in these ones." As he says, "I think you got this in the bigger bag. I think you got this in the bag, you big gorilla." As then midnight draws out the first event. And the first event is a obstacle race. And she starts saying, "The field all the way towards the arena is littered with different obstacles, from pitfalls to landmines, and even robots from the entrance exam blocking your way. The goal is to try and get there first before any other competitor, and whoever gets first place wins 10 billion points." As Senku just says, "See, what I tell you, Big Elf? Perfect for you. But I got a bit of a idea of how I'm gonna win." As well, Taiji says, "Well, I'll see you at the finish line, eh, Senku?" As I walk over to the start position, and everybody is getting ready, as President Mike counts down, 3, 2, 1, and go! As everybody starts running forth as a huge burst of ice starts covering the ground. Senku jumps up and's like, 10 billion% sure he's gonna pull that one. As Taiji's like, "Oh crap, my feet." Senku just says, "What do you mean your feet? You can easily run through it." As Taiji pulls his foot up, "Oh, that's right. Well, thanks for the advice, Senku." As he starts dashing off ahead, almost just everybody's jaws dropping at the speed he's running. He's faster than an Olympic level athlete. No, he's much faster. Did you ever see the speed quirk? As Ada was, well, trying to catch up with him, says, "Taiju, how the hell did you get faster?" As you just said, "I don't know, I just like running. It's kind of my thing, really. I always used to run faster than some of the hunting dogs I've seen." As Ada's just like, "Jeez, well, have to crank up the gears then." And is slowly, sluggishly running out and's like, "Man, running ain't my thing." And it says, "Well, at least it isn't for now." As he starts running as fast as he can, sprinting tiring himself out, and to the point where it feels like his muscles are tearing apart. He says, "Ah, ah, how does he do it all day?" He says, "Well, this is perfect time to test out my theory." As he turns himself to stone, as everybody's just like, "What the hell? Did he misuse his quirk or something?" As the stone cracks off and then he starts sprinting out even faster this time. He says, "That was correct. Seems that my energy gets restored, and it seems that I'm able to heal the torn muscles, making me stronger and faster." As he starts to catch up with the front section of the crowd, as he goes, I hope this will put a bit of a dent in their plans." As he goes, "Alright, I can only be so sure." As he grabs a little ball out of his pocket, pinches off the end of it, and throws it as hard as he can forward, as a bright green light starts engulfing the area, and everybody in front of him turns to stone. As everybody's just going, "What the hell? I thought sabotage was illegal." As he states, well, as President Mike states, "Senku Ishigami, he's in both the hero course and the support course. So what he made wasn't actually his quirk, but instead one of the items." As everybody's just freaking out. What kind of items turns people to stone? As they're just worrying about what this kid is making, or what they're making at UA. As he just smirks and's like, didn't think it'd be that effective. It's limited to a 15-meter radius, but at least it has its uses." As, well, Taiji just sees that and like, ooh, is that what Senku is making? Well, that's a bit scary. I'll have to try and make sure not to get hit by it. As he dashes underneath the big 0-point robots, and he just, he just starts blitzing by him and is like, "Not today, Satan." As he keeps running past, we don't know about where Senku is. As he starts getting up to the big giant robots, and it's like, well, I can't exactly fight against these things, so I'll let somebody else do it. As he runs underneath and sees Buck going up for the attack, as the huge robot starts collapsing, it's like, now that thing is roughly about 180 tons, falls at a velocity of 50 feet per second. Alright, then I got about a 2-second gap. As he turns himself to stone again, and then breaks open from the casing, dashing faster than before. As the thing crashes over him, and everybody's wondering, "Oh no, he got crushed!" As he saw, not just him, but another student, what they thought got crushed. As Tetsu starts breaking out, it's like, "You think this can crush me? I'm made of iron." As everybody's like, "But where's the other kid?" As I see from the smoke from behind, breaking out of the smoke, Senku is running. I was 10 billion% sure that would work, but that was sure fucking scary though, right? As he keeps on running, and until he gets to the rope, climbing part, as he's just like, this is pure athletic ability, but it doesn't matter to me. As he throws 2 giant magnets across and propels himself forward. It's like, what the hell? It's called magnetic force. I got 2 very powerful magnets. Opposite poles equals more push force. Now, if you have the one size of somebody's stomach, oh boy, you can go places. As he puts one to the ground and puts one on his back, as he jumps over it and gets shot across the canyon at high speeds. As people just like, what the hell? It comes in handy when you have a lot of iron in your blood as well. Like I do, I have to have... As he just keeps monologuing to himself while everybody's just like, what's he on about? as the kid's rambling, he finally lands across and then just continues running. As he sees a bunch of the as he continues to the pace where he's almost actually caught up to Taiju and the leaders of the pack. He's almost caught up to all three of them, Todoroki, Taiju. But then he sees somebody else coming from behind, Midoriya. Hmm. As well, he sees him looks behind him and says, "They're behind, are we, Midoriya?" It's like, yeah, just a little bit. I got an idea. As he says, what? See the mines up ahead? We'll both use them. It's like, wait, what? Says, you got that giant thing in the back of you. Yeah, I took it from one of the robots. We'll use that like a surfboard, except we'll surf along the explosions. Wait, we can do that? As nothing in the rules against it. And personally, science doesn't have any rules. As it says, and this will be much quicker with two hands. As they carefully dig out a dozen mines or so and piles on top of each other as both go, alright, 3, 2, 1, go! As both of them jump on using their plating as shielding and launch themselves over all three of the leaders as every as everybody's just shocked at the big explosion behind them. And the three start bolting as quickly as possible. Tojo starts running so fast that he outruns the explosion. Todoroki's freezing them so they won't explode underneath his feet and starts gliding across. Bakugo is just accelerating the amount and the force behind the explosions as well, and launching himself as fast as he can. As the two make a landing in front of all three of them, as he says, "Now spin, Midoriya!" As he slams the giant metal scrap in below them, as launches both of them forward and says, "Huh, I'm 10 billion% sure that was going to work. Now it's up to a matter of whether or not we're faster." As Senku turns himself to stone again, then breaks out of it and says, "Alright, time to win." As he bolts forward at 100% speed, not caring about how much energy he's wasting. He keeps pushing forward until he finally breaks and becomes the first place. Second Midoriya, third Taiju, fourth Bakugo, and fifth Todoroki. As everybody's just cheering, it says, "Wow, that kid is amazing. Him and that greenhead boy, they took advantage of the mines." As Senku high-fives Midoriya and says, "Well, good job." Midoriya just says, "Thank you." Don't be too shy. We wouldn't have won if it wasn't for the both of us. And I'm pretty sure you're a bit too nervous to use the mines in the first place. As he goes, yeah. As then we move over to the cavalry battles. As in this canon, Senku's gonna have the team of a bunch of the support course students. As it says, "Alright, my workforce, let's win this." As they have a bunch of gadgets on them, and people start heading towards Senku, as he just goes, "Alright, do what I told you. Put on protective shielding." As everybody everybody's wait, and some of the teams go, "Wait, it's a trap." It says too late, and he throws out a bigger one of the small balls he used from early in the race. As everybody around him gets turned to stone, as Senku just jumps along the top of them, grabbing the headbands from each, and says, "Bit too easy." And it says, "Alright, you just sit there You just sit there for a while. I'll turn you back after we've won. As he goes around collecting, now he has a giant stack along his head and he starts laughing maniacally. The power of science does it all for you. And people just going, how was that just a support item? What is that? As he shouts over at the blonde-haired boy, basically being very condescending to him. Ah, that's right. You're a monomer, aren't you? Well, let me tell you, the power of science allows me to do whatever the hell I want. Basically, what I just did was I infused my DNA into a pulsar machine. And thanks to some brilliant people, mainly May, we were able to condense it down to the size of a golf ball. Being able to use that to turn anybody we want to stone. Using my power. As he says, but that's using a quirk. Not if it's a part of me. Well, not if it's not a part of me, that is. I mean, hell, some people's support item is their quirk. Think about it. If you look at Buck over there, that explosion idiot had a giant bracer. That bracer can store his sweat, making his explosions build up more and more and be able to launch a giant explosion. So, that gives him the ability to use his quirk, even if he doesn't have the firepower left to. As everybody's just amazed at this kid and how he's able to think of using his quirk like this. And people just think, oh, turning someone to stone. Well, anybody with a petrification quirk could do that. But being able to do it away or not even have to be near somebody to do it, it's truly magnificent. As Todoroki and Buck start trying to head over towards Senku, they're both stopped by the threat of if he's able to pull out one of the bombs, he can't actually. They would be turned to stone. As Todoroki and Bako try to attack from a distance, as Senku just says, "Huh, trying to take me out at a distance, huh?" As he says, "Hey, big elf, you gonna let them try to monopolize me like this?" Says as he says to Taiju, "Well, come on, you gonna let them beat you?" As Taiju starts going, "No, well, but I better guess it's time to try and even the odds." As I say, teaming up is not allowed. Says, who said about teaming up? What I said, if you wanted to shut up my points, you should probably try and attack them. And everybody's just like, well, yeah, but that's still bad. And it says, even sometimes heroes have to team up with the villains, even when you don't like it. You might not hear about it, but every villain has to do it. Well, every hero has seen some cases where it's happened. Hell, I definitely know of one. As you said, the chivalrous hero, Red Crimson Riot, had teamed up with a villain who he had just persuaded to stop attacking the innocents to try and take down his deranged foe. Eventually, that villain was able to help Crimson Riot defeat the enemy, but not before Crimson Riot passed away of his injury. That villain was erased from all records and given a new chance at redeeming himself. It was wiped off the record, but I managed to find them with some connections. So, after everybody was trying to take down Senku and Taiju with their teams, like collectively, they had started to give up, and then all of a sudden the buzzer started blaring. All right, time is up. As then Senku just goes around to all of the teams he had petrified, and heals them technically, and the stone starts cracking off, and it's like, man, your quirk is just a bit too strong. Well, it's actually weak, but I make it strong with the power of science. As Midnight starts saying, alright, the top 5 teams all advance onto the final round. As we first see Deku's battle with Shinso, as the fighting starts going on, something weird happened that Senku noticed. His power activated in his fingers without him being conscious. Interesting. As he was just thinking to himself, as Taiji goes, "What's interesting?" He says, "Nothing. Something just piqued my interest." Okay. As then it finally comes up to Senku's match, which happens to be against Mei Hatsume. It says, "Oh, bit of an unlucky match there, isn't it, Hatsume?" "Yeah, well, at least I get to show off my support items. I mean, I get to too, but since we're from the same department and all, I guess it's better if I don't just petrify you. If you wouldn't mind, I don't exactly want to have the opportunity to show off my babies, then it get ruined. Yeah, well, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to make some of these items, so at least I give off. So I'll try fighting you one-on-one." As as they start rushing at each other, well, more like Natsume was just throwing some of her random gadgets and throwing things around Senku to try and disorient him. Mainly sonic cannons, a bunch of, hollow imaging devices, creating, what it looks like duplicates of Hatsume. That it looks almost real. But Senku just is able to pick out all of them and says, "That one has, well, I gotta admit, Hatsume, your quantum imaging is definitely getting a lot better, but quantum dot needs a bit more work, especially on the RGB. That one's a bit duller and that one's a bit brighter." As he kicks Hatsume in the side, says, "Well, I might not be the most physical person. I'd be needed to not know self-defense. And after all, being friends with Taiju, he kind of does want you to learn a thing or two." As well, Natsume goes, alright, I give up. After all, fighting's not really my thing. Engineering is more of what I'm good at." As Senku just helps her up and's like, "Yeah, I can respect that. I'm not much of a fighter too. I just happen to be put in a situation where I need to fight. And this is where a lot better at what you do than I am, Senku." As then, as they, say thanks for the good match to each other and walk out of the arena, the big battle against, Deku and Todoroki start. As Todoroki decides to try and end it quickly with giant bursts and shockwaves of, ice coming towards Midori at such a high speed that he can almost not check and see. As a giant burst of massive shockwave of air comes from Midoriya's side of the field, and it's just awe-striking. The giant iceberg that knocked Sari out of the competition earlier just completely shattered to bits by a giant airwave. As Midoriya just kept on running towards Todoroki as ice wave after ice wave was flowing at him. Senku can just see down right where Midoriya is standing and seeing all the horrible scarring that's going to happen on his hands. And she just thinks, idiot, he's being so self-destructing with his power. As then, it comes to the point where they're eye and eye. They're that close together that they're almost standing face to face. As Todoroki gets punched in the gut, sending him flying almost out the arena. As they continue fighting on, Todoroki getting pressed back, and Midoriya says, "You haven't even landed a scratch on me, Todoroki! Stop saying it's his power! It's yours!" as he erupts into flame, and the two start flying into a head-on collision. As Senku just says, "Midnight, Cementos! Create a wall now! He'll destroy the entire arena!" As they just say, "Yes, alright," in the panic at the moment. And a giant wall was formed by the, well, Midnight decided to try and see if she can knock him unconscious before the attacks collided. Cementos created a giant wall to soften the blow. As it was already too late, however, the attacks collided. The wall softened the blow, but it still couldn't handle quite the amount of energy that was put into the attacks. As everybody was just left awestruck, and it's like, as Senku just starts rushing down to the stadium. It's like, "Midoriya, where are you?" As everybody just says, it starts gasping and says, "That boy is in the wall." As this dust now settles, as Todoroki is left standing and Midoriya is indented into a wall. Senku rushes over and says, Midoriya, wake up! Come on! I didn't, come on, wake up!" As he starts regaining consciousness, he's like, "Alright, I'm gonna heal you now. Come on." As Midoriya closes his eyes and then gets turned to stone, as he shatters out of the, well, stone. It starts falling off him, and he gets back up. Thanks, Senku." As Midnight and Cementos rush up to Senku and says, "Thanks for your help. Guess he was in serious condition." "Yeah, thanks for listening to me when I said put up those walls, otherwise it would have been much worse than just broken bones and a bruised body." So, well, you seem to know what was going to happen. Yeah, with that amount of force, especially enough to almost create a hurricane, like wind speeds, and the fire that seems to reach almost on the same power as Endeavor's. It was going to cause a massive explosion, especially in the airwave. As, well, Midnight says, "Well, I don't know what you just said, but that's certainly what happened." But anyway, thank you. No worries, Midnight. Anyway, I'm going to head back up to the stand now. Can you walk fine? As he's looking down at the door and he's like, "Yeah, thanks to your healing from your quirk, I'm able to." As, well, Recovery Lady walks up and says, "Are you alright, young man?" "Oh." As she looks up and says, That's right. You're the young man from that, well, you're the young man from the entrance exam." "Ah, well, it's very nice to see that somebody else other than me can do the healing around here. Who knows, maybe I might call on you one day." "Sure, why not? Well, you know where to find me. Either I'll be in this poor building or I'll be in class 1A. Anyway, I gotta take this sort of damaged boy back to his seat, otherwise, he's gonna start muttering again." It says, "Wait, what do you mean by muttering?" As, well, then she looks behind to where Izuku was analyzing what he just did. As she says, "Oh, you mean that? Yeah, he does that a bit often. Trust me, this is just one of his short ones." As he chops Izuku on the head. "Come on, we gotta get back to our seats. Well, you do at least. I've got a match coming up." As he goes, as well, Senku and Izuku part ways and says, "You go up and join the rest of the class, and I'll be down here. Wish me luck, will you?" As he says, "Sure, and thanks again for before." No worries. I'm gonna become a hero after all, so it's kind of my job." As then, as then they're getting ready for the next match. As, however, he's interrupted by Endeavor. As says, so you're the one that called out to put a damper between that power of my progeny, I see." As he looks towards Endeavor, he just says, so you're the famous asshole, I see." "What did you say, boy?" You heard me. Anyway, it comes from first-hand experience. After all, I keep hearing about the famous endeavor from Shoto himself, and you wouldn't believe what he says about you. Not in a bad way, however, because I think telling the truth is very good. But you're not a you're not a hero as much as you think you are. Overtaking All Might? Cool. That's every hero's aspiration. Be better than their idol. However, if you're gonna take your fanboying to the next level to hurt your wife and your kids, don't even call yourself a hero. I may be a student and I may be young, but I know an asshole when I see one. So take this to heart, Endeavor. Look back on yourself before you think that you're ever a hero. You might save people, but if those people end up coming to despise you after finding out what you did, they wouldn't love you at all. They'll turn your backs on you. That's the cruel and very unfortunate part about society. Well, anyway, I best be getting ready for my match, and you're welcome. If it wasn't for the little tidbit I gave you, you might not have ever noticed. As he walks past, and Endeavor just stood there, shocked that someone who's not even a hero dares say that to his face and not even flinch and walk past him like he was just an average person. As he just says, "Is this true?" And Senku well, he's getting ready for his match. So he walks out and he hears a big oaf just going, "Senku!" all the way from the stands, and it's like, as he starts picking his ear. He's a loud one, isn't he? As out comes Uraraka. As, well, they're getting ready, and it's like, well, this isn't a very this is a very peculiar one. So whoever touches who first gets the victory, it seems. As Uraraka just says, "Yeah. However, I think I'm gonna win." I wouldn't count yourself so sure. And says, "Why's that? You realize that I can extend my range, right?" "Wait, but I thought you ran out of those." Just as I was talking about that. As he pulls out something from the back behind that was hanging on his belt. Says, "This thing here." "But that's not you. It's not got that power, has it?" Says, "No, it hasn't got the power. It's just able to distribute it." As he tosses something, something that was quite unequivocal into the air and strikes it with a whip-like, well, a bull whip to be more exact. As it turns to stone, as it says, "I think I got this one in the bag." As Uraraka says, "Well, you're gonna have to try and strike me first." As she starts charging at him well, and starts evading some of the strikes, actually. It was quite surprising. As she was jumping around and dodging him by a hair's thread. Says, "You're quite good. However, I've just been entertaining. I don't mean to be an ass. I just have to end this quickly. So, I'll just extend the range." As she goes, "Wait, what?" As he turns a notch as the whip gets thinner but longer. As, well, it doesn't make it as powerful of a strike, so it won't hurt as much. It increase the length and range. So, try dodging this. As the first strike barely misses clipping her hair as it gets cut off, and it's like, damn, so close. Now let's go for number 2. As Uraraka tries to dodge out of the way and avoid it, as she's just about to touch him, and it goes, "Well, if I can increase the length, that means I can also decrease it." And she was like, "Shit, no!" As he turns the notch down, and as it gets thicker but longer. I mean, thicker but shorter. As as he strikes her across the arm and says, "Gotcha, princess." As she starts turning to stone, and after she was fully turned to stone, Midnight says, "The winner is Ishigami Senku." As everybody just starts cheering, and as he makes his way back up to the stands, well, everybody is just praising him. It's like, wait, when did you make that? As, well, Hatsune comes rushing over from her part of the class and is like, so that's what that was. I thought it was just like a little remote. Yeah, it was a little bullwhip. However, I had to use some very intricate machinery that even you couldn't specialize in. But I'm pretty sure you'd have been frothing your mouth over it if I had told you what it was. As as Pal Lady comes up actually behind him and says, that was definitely one of the most unique creations I've ever seen. Seems to always bend the laws of physics. Well, if we're gonna go into that, why do you think I have written on here E equals MC square? Wait. Acceleration equals the mass constant. Yep. So if I can decrease the mass, I can increase the acceleration rate, while also making it longer. Striking faster at a distance, slower and more powerful when I give it more mass. So basically, you just gave it the theoretical physics whip. Pretty much. As Senku is just praising himself a bit, says this one took a bit longer, as Doji comes running up and gives him a hug, and it's like, as he starts, well, putting his foot to his face, "Get off me, you big ape!" Everybody just starts laughing. And this is where I'm going to end it off. Sorry, now this is 2 what ifs that actually had to be cut short because I like to over-arc the story too much. I am sorry. But yeah, this was a bit of a longer part, and but I will give you a bit of confirmation that I am going to be starting after Easter. So next week I will be coming out with a new series, and to replace the King's Vessel, and even possibly another part to the collaboration I have running with Crown Fiend at the moment. Should be coming out either tomorrow or sometime in the next week. Yeah, but anyway, have a good one, guys.